Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance for motoring enthusiasts, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, Hero Hoists, and Martin's Panel Masters.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Classic Restos, continuing to bring you some fantastic locations. The show is into Series 36, comprising over 520 episodes, and you're about to see more right after this. It's thanks to Shannons. Ask about multi-policy discounts and sign up for the Shannons Club. Call 134646 for a quote and see more at shannons.com.au. And Hare and Forbes has the range. Buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. You know, there's just something about a return to New Zealand. And when we talk about the North Island, well, there is one static classic vehicle event that has now evolved itself into its 24th year, morphing itself, etched into the minds of thousands of enthusiasts. It's easy to see why this classic event has become as popular as it is. Well, it's been said countless times before, if there's one thing our Kiwi neighbours do well, it is classic vehicle events. Here in the wine country of Kemeu, just 25 kilometres west of Auckland in the North Island of New Zealand and home to almost 7,000 people, the picturesque location offers an amazing venue, good placement and room for literally thousands of classics.
Like Kemu Classic Car and Hot Rods Festival started 24 years ago actually, and what happened was it was a car idea of a group of car club guys getting together and running a swap meet, and it actually evolved to the point where the fact it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and too big for the car clubs to handle. So what happened was a couple of us entrepreneurial sort of stepped in, if you should call it, and sort of took it to where it is today, where we've got like 80 hectares, I think there is, big steel sheds for show sheds, swap meet area, about 350 swappers, which isn't that big on the scale of things for overseas, but it's quite massive here. And also we park about 3,000 classic cars over the weekend. The classic car movement means to me, it's about the fact is that building, driving something that someone else hasn't got. It's a bit of artwork on wheels. It's about getting a car, whether it's a hot rod or classic car, vintage car, it's about building it the way you think it should be built and putting the colour you should have on it, you know, and then saying, well, and then go cruising and sort of do the old window thing, you know, like arm out the window, look at me, we're enjoying it and making sure that it's our legacy, you know, like New Zealand never had any assembly plants to speak of, so everything here is American or Australian or whatever, and if we can dare to be different, we've got to be. It's about coming along and feeling the experience, and it is an experience here. It's and our 25th year is next year in 2019, so if you can make it, that'll be great. And a lot of Aussies come over here, so we'll put the sheep away.
Great to see the population increase over a weekend in any regional town from a few old cars turning up, but it's when you see the type of vehicles, what has been done to them, what hasn't been done to them, then pour those ingredients into the blender mixed with stories from their owners, and bingo, that is the reason why we are all here. One thing that everybody loves to see here at the Kemu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival is the almost no limit to the amount of traders and private swap sites that turn up here this weekend. Now today's Friday, it's setup day, and as we have a look around, it'll give you some sort of idea as to who is turning up and what is being set up, and to give us an example on what we can expect over the next 2 really big days. Moving through the 2018 Kemu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival on Classic Restos, it also covers a little bit of the weird and the wonderful. How you doing, Jodi?
Good to meet you, Fletch. I'm having a good time here at Kemu for my 15th year.
Yep.
And,
You're a bit of a regular, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Been out customising for over 50 years now, since '64.
I've seen a lot of things in the history of Classic Restos, but not many occasions where a guy has built himself his own rocket. Now, look, there's no limit to your talent. It is obvious that whatever you assign yourself the task of doing, you can manufacture and put together.
Yep.
Like you say, we have the red mini truck up front. You've got this rocket. Yep. You've got a lawnmower with 4 engines on it. I mean, there's no stopping you.
Just built that. The lawnmower just built for Kemu show specifically for today because it's just for a laugh. And it's classic. On the front it says it's an 8-cylinder cause I can, and that's what it is. It's just cause I can.
Because he can. Now, Geordie, the red truck. What is it and what powers it?
It was a 2004 GMC Sierra ute truck pickup, double cab, and I bought it at auction. It had been damaged a little bit, been on its head, so I cut the body down to the floor pan, extended the floor pan 400mm, and put a 4-inch body lift on it, and kept the bulkhead and all the everything GMC is still there. So it's I think it's a 350 Chevy, the Vortex, so it's the late model, late-ish by my standards, fuel injected 350 Chevy. So it's all Chevy running gear apart from the homemade body, fiberglass guards, the Aussie doors off a cruiser, which are very hard to get, and the rest is just homemade.
Tell us about the rocket. Now, what's the purpose behind that? Is it so you can just launch at any time and just get out of here, or what?
Now that took 14 months to certify, which really got us annoyed. So I thought, right, no more. I'll build myself a caravan so I can go and watch motorsport, go to hot rod shows, go to the truck racing, everything petrol orientated. So I thought, well, I can't just build a caravan. So I built the rocket. And then after a season with it, I was down at Taupo watching the truck race, and I thought, hang on, I can do better than this. So I did a quick sketch. I thought, how about hydraulic rockets? So this is the Mark II. So I've got 2 rockets. I've got one too many.
If you're going to build yourself a rocket, you have to do a sequel, Mark I and Mark II. I mean, there's just no stopping you.
So what's next, you ask? Yeah, I don't know, mate.
I mean, how practical is the rocket? I mean, is it hot in summer?
No, it's fully insulated.
It looks like a huge suppository, Geordie.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that, but it's very. The small one, the Mark I, is more comfortable. But the idea of this one is because you've got the lookout tower. So last time out at Pukekohe with it, I was the only person in Pukekohe circuit who could see the whole circuit. Clint Brown, the commentator, couldn't even see the circuit. You know.
Very nice. Now, the lawnmower. I mean, how practical is that? Is it a powerful unit?
Well, it's 3 16-horse Briggs and Stratton flathead opposed twins, so it's probably 2.4 litre, and it's I don't know. It doesn't matter. I haven't got any flat lawn, so I can't really use it. You know. So
you know what? It's all about the level of how creative that you are, and a little bit of insanity as well.
It's an addiction. That's what it is. It's an
Geordie,
addiction.
I couldn't think of a more different way to start the episode for this year's Kemu. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Really nice to see you, mate. Anytime, call in.
Good on you.
My passion for cars began when Nana and Pop bought their new Toyota Crown. It was Nana's, really. She loved that car. We went everywhere in it. My passion now is just the same, even though my cars are a little different. I've still got Nana's car, couldn't part with it. And I reckon if she was here today, she'd be insured with Shannons too.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
If you have a restoration project, Hare and Forbes has the tools that you need. Look at these restoration products: shrinker stretchers, dollies, mallets, bead rollers, profile gauges,
professional panel restoration kits, and so much more. Now I warn you, enter at your own risk because you will end up buying something. So come along to your Cap City store or browse and buy online at machineryhouse.com.au because Heron Forbes has the range. We move on through. Well, of course, we have to feature a hot rod. How are you, Geoff?
I'm very well, thank you, Fletch. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Beautiful 32 here.
Thank you very much.
I like what you've got there depicted on the air cleaner, etched into the alloy, the verse that you like driving, and at the end of it, no trailers. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can understand some people with their cars might not handle very well, but hey, you have a car for a reason. You don't have to sit there and look at. So.
Well, that's right. There's different purposes. There's guys that spend $500,000 just for show purposes. Well, I mean, okay, you're not going to knock one of them around out on the street, but the average person with average budgets, having vehicles like what we see here, getting out and driving them, that's all of the fun. Now, how long have you had this one, Geoff?
I've only had it coming up 3 years now, but yeah, we've had it on the road a lot, done the South Holland a couple of times. We're about to head down to the Nationals in Ashburton and end of March, so yeah, we just drive it.
What has been done to this 32?
It was the second car off the mould, I believe, a mould that came in from England, built by Juice Farms down at Tauranga. It's the only old part on it perhaps is the diff. Everything else is brand new. Had a brand new box, brand new motor, brand new blower, the whole lot. It's got a 671 blower on top of a 350 Chev, turbo 350 gearbox, 8-inch diff.
They've got their own unique look about them. I know it's not about going fast, but how do they drive?
I mean, the front end's 32 technology, but they're not a sports car, so you just got to go into the car with that sort of an attitude that if someone goes around the corner 10 times faster than you say, fine, I'm quite happy to put my foot on the brake and go around it a bit slower. You know?
I guess that's a pretty open question too, because it depends on what suspension and what work has been done to each particular vehicle.
Yeah, different people have different ideas. I mean, I'd probably say 40 or 50% of the 32s are out there, and maybe the 34s as well. They have the late model aftermarket suspension on it with independent, which gives them a lot softer ride. This still runs the 32 solid front axle with a transverse mono leaf, and you just got to accept the fact that it's not going to go around a corner like a Ferrari. So the back end's a wee bit more modern, running a 4-link, but it's just horses for courses.
What's it like under the right foot? I mean, you've basically just got 2 chassis rails, half a cab, and all this grunt up front. It must be quite exhilarating when you put the pedal down.
The big bonus is with the blower, of course, it's just got torque. It's just power right from the get-go. There's no big power band. It's just touch the accelerator and it's just torque.
It's just all on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good on you, Geoff. It's been wonderful speaking to you, mate.
It's been magic for you to come over, and it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Good on you, mate. Yeah. Thanks, Geoff. Yes, getting around the wonderful traders here at Kemu, and I'm always up for a good feed. And the nice thing about it is that these traders are always happy to see me. Hello. Closed today. Open tomorrow. But they said for me to... tomorrow. And it's time for a Holden now on today's show. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Fletch.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
That's good. Tell us how you feel about coming to Kemu.
Oh, I love coming to Kemu. It's a really good atmosphere. The people are fantastic. And just hearing all the engines roaring all the time.
I mean, Ken and Des McGalvin and their team, they do a sensational job here, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yep, fantastic.
And I think one of the best things for me coming to Kemu is that I can pronounce the name of the town correctly.
Oh, I don't know about that. It sounded a bit strange.
Oh, come on. Give me some credit. Don't tell me I've got Kemu wrong. Is it Kemu?
Kemu.
Oh, Kemu.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I told you. I had to get one of the New Zealand towns right once.
Yeah, get it.
Now, let's talk about this panel van.
Okay.
It's a lot of green. She's well powered. The restoration's been done very nicely. I have to ask you, what condition was it when you first found this van, Michelle?
It was just a bare shell virtually. No windows, no interior, nothing.
Yep.
It's had a lot of work done to it. Got a lot of good mates out there.
Did you oversee the whole project?
I was there, for it. Yeah, put a bit of sanding and that into it.
Good on you. Isn't it funny, like when you do your own work, whether it's the entire job or just some of it even, it just means so much more to you with the finished product, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier, Michelle, about being well powered. Now, can you tell us what's happening up under the hood there?
You can ask me that. No, it's 350, but I'm not quite sure what the blower is.
That's okay. That's all right. You've told us the size. She's told us the size of the engine. That's all that matters. Bit of bling there. Bit of shiny work there, Michelle.
Yes, that's Rex's area. I polish it, but it's never good enough, so you'll spend hours on that trying to make it stay shiny.
He's doing a good job. Now, when it comes to panel vans, do they go way back with you? Obviously, teenage years, being a little kid. Where does a panel van come into your life?
Not really me. It was we were looking for something, and we were looking for quite some time, and this sort of came up, and it's like, well, I haven't seen one of those around for a long time, so let's just do it.
And the way that the restorations work these days, I mean, once upon a time it was all the two-door cars that got snapped up. Might have been the Tiranas, the Monaros, but then it's gradually gone into the commercial side. It's gone into the utes, gone into the panel vans. It's like, it doesn't matter what it is now, if it's restored or even if it's not restored, they're just cool to have.
Oh yeah, definitely, yep. Yeah.
All right. Good on you, Michelle. Well, thank you very much. I wanted to feature the van because here at Kemu, there is such a variety of hot rods, cars. There's English cars, American cars, Australian cars. The plethora of what is here is just, it goes on forever. So to get one of these HZ panel vans here on the show, that's a pretty neat thing.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Getting around, looking at all the strange stuff. Behind me in the distance is a big set of pipe stacks. I'm busting to get over there. It's quite a walk, but I'm busting to get over there and see what that's all about. It's not even a car. It's Hillbilly Stove. He's not even here. Hillbilly Stove. I thought it was a car. Are you kidding me? 300 metre walk. Jeez.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannons Home and Contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannons.
Shannons Insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Hare & Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. And with a range like this, you cannot go wrong. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps, air compressors and different air tools, sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House, and they're also open Saturday mornings. Their range of machine tools are workshop tested. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare & Forbes has the range. Time now for an American classic on today's show. How you doing, Gary?
Good, thanks, Fletch.
That's right, mate. Gorgeous. 1960 Bonneville Convertible. Wow, you've even got the matching shirt there to match the decor of the car.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, Gary, how long have you had this car?
I brought it into New Zealand back in November, December 2015. And I found it in a little town just north of Pontiac, which is north of Detroit. Yes. And this car actually was built in the plant at Pontiac.
Pontiac always did build a great car. Speaking of which, now powering it up front, what's going on there?
So that's a 389 big block, and she just ticks away. It's a tri-power, so it's quite strange going up a hill. You're waiting for it to kick back down, but it just doesn't. Yeah. It just drops the revs and away you go.
Now, interior, from what you know of the history of the car, original?
Yes, my understanding from the owner that I bought it from, he tells me that the upper parts and the leather are original. He's not quite sure about the base seat in the front, but the back is 100% original. The car itself was stored in Indiana for just over 30 years, and there's a registration on the side that has 1970 as its last time that it was registered, with 68,000 miles on it. Now there's only 72,000 on the clock now.
One thing too, Gary, I've always admired with Pontiac, they've always given us a full-size dashboard. It's like as though someone said, look, you know, our dashboards have got to be the biggest. We'll get a goddamn drive-in screen and we'll paint it brown, we'll put dials on it and we'll throw that in the dashboard. I've never known a car to get bigger dashboards than the Pontiacs, and that goes into the Catalinas as well. It's quite interesting when we drive new cars today, although they're a lot safer, but with the airbags and the A-pillars, it makes the A-pillars really, really fat. They're really wide, and they can actually be blind spots. And some of these early cars, you get in them, you've got low door levels right across the hood and the trunk, the visibility through the glass. They're just great to drive.
Yeah, you're bang on. The only thing I find difficult is being in a right-hand country, of course, with a left-hand drive, is I'm not used to turning my head over the other shoulder to back down the driveway. Other than that, perfectly clear visibility.
There you go, Gary. You got yourself a car that will enable you now to use some new muscle groups that you haven't for a while.
Yeah,
so
you're onto it.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Now, before you go, mention your club, where you guys are based, and anyone watching to find out more information to be a part of your club.
Sure, we've online the American Classic Car Club here in Auckland, and Rob is our president, our chairman. He's the guy that you need to get in touch with, but all the details are online. You can fill out your form.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the people in this club are as good as the cars, you've got a fantastic crowd, because it's one of these clubs where you look around the members' cars here and they're just stunning, and there's also such a great variance.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Fletch, it's been awesome. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, moving through as we do the 2018 Kemu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival. Hello, William.
Hello there. Hello, Fletch.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and a day like this could not be better.
Absolutely. I like your car. It's a little different. It's not a two-door car. We're looking at a four-door car and a DeSoto from 1955, correct?
Correct, it is. It's a New Zealand new 1955 DeSoto. All of these ones were built, the V8s were built in Canada and brought out here all built up. The six-cylinder ones were built in Petone, and they were not quite as good as what these ones are, but
Right.
Still the same shape.
Good car to drive, William.
Lovely car to drive. It's one of the best sports cars I've ever driven. It's handled like a sports car.
It's a big call for a car from 1955. It just goes to show the technology that was around back then. Well, it was advanced for its time, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It's a V8 automatic, two-stage automatic, and if you drive it, pussyfoot it, you'll get pretty good mileage per gallon out of it. If you lead foot it, well, yes, it'll use it up like it's going up out of fashion.
So, William, being a Mopar product, is the transmission an early form of the Torque Flight design?
Definitely, yes, it is. It was a Power Flight design. It's a two-stage transmission, and you drive till about 15 miles an hour, and it changes from the low range to the high range.
Yep.
And then the Torque Flights with a three-speed transmission. Early ones were cast iron models. The later model ones were aluminium transmissions. Yeah.
So, William, what engine does it have?
Engine is a 248 cubic inch. It's a small engine, which most of these ones were. The American DeSotos are a little bit different to what these ones are. And this one was designated an SP27.
Yep.
The P27 alludes to Plymouth. The S part in front of it is a DeSoto Plymouth. And the American ones were just different in the grille, they were different in the body. And that's how this one particular one got its designation.
Thank you very much, William. Lovely talking to you.
Lovely talking to you too.
Thank you. And now it's time to see this car through the eyes of another member of William's family. Now, William's daughter. How are you, Nicola?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Fletch?
I'm very, very good. Now, this car, aesthetically through your eyes, what do you think of the DeSoto?
Beautiful. I've always loved this shape, and I've always loved the particular, just the style, just the shape, and the fact that it's a different car to drive than mine. So, than the one that they own outright.
Yeah.
So I was really pleased when Dad decided to buy it, and I said, I'll come in with you.
Yeah. It's given him some longevity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's also a lot to be said for simplicity as well. I mean, I love the dashboard. When you look across the dashboard of this DeSoto, it's really, I guess, towards the end of Art Deco, isn't it?
Yep. Very much so. Dad has a 49 Buick, and you can see the, obviously not the same mark, but you can see the thread coming through.
Absolutely.
Their style, and they must have had a lot of fun in the 50s. They really did.
All right, good on you, Nicola. Thanks for being on today's episode of Classic Restos.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
You are more than welcome. It's good to see father-daughter turn up to the car shows. It's just nice to see, and especially at the enormity of this event at Kemu this year. Just before you do go, Nicola, your thoughts?
It's great. It's been very hot, but it's been one of the best shows I think I've seen. So they've really gone to a lot of trouble, and it's paid off. It shows well. Yeah.
Thanks, Nicola.
No worries. Thank you.
Well, the coat comes off, the heat comes on. Here we are, Kemu, episode 1 of the incredible Kemu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival. Big hats off to Ken and Des McGalvin for bringing this event together and their team. Now, on next week's show, I'm going to take you into the sheds here at the Kemu Showground because there's something always really interesting in there awaiting us. So until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance for motoring enthusiasts, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, Hero Hoists, and Martin's Panel Masters.